Julia with Hugs and Stitches. I thought I'd show a little bit of what I've been working on today. One of my favorite collections of all times are skeleton keys. I find them at flea markets. I have a couple of antique dealers that also hunt for me. And there's also a couple of Etsy stores that carry skeleton keys, and I will link those stores to you so you can kind of take a look and see what they have. This particular one is a brass key, which I just love, and it's hollow. The little hollow keys are the ones that are the most rare. I think and they used to open little drawers and little cupboards or whatever, and the little ones were lost more than the bigger skeleton keys. So I think they're just fewer around. But what I like to do with them is decorate with wrapped wire, beads, little charms, and I like to hang them from chunky ball chain. I do sell this chain in my Etsy store, and I'll link that to you. Very fun. I like putting the two different tones of colors together. This is like an antiqued bronze color with the silver. And with the different colors too, metals on the key itself. Just really fun. Here's another example. I love fiber, ribbons, fiber, anything textural. So I added a little ribbon on this one and then wire wrapped it. And then of course added the beads. Again with the chunky braid or chunky chain. This one too, I just added a little bit of the fiber right at the end. Wire wrapped it, added a little dragonfly bead. I don't know if you can see it very well on here or not. And a little bead dangle. There's so many different sizes and shapes of these keys. This is a really unusual one. Again, hollow, real chunky. And it's a very cool color. It's kind of a pewter, dark tarnished color to it. This one I wire wrapped with copper. Put a little bead on it, a little dangle, and again with a chunky chain, which is just fun. Anyway, I thought I'd show you quickly how I kind of go about this. I'm not really a jeweler at heart. I'm more of a stitcher and a fiber kind of artist. So you could probably do this a lot better than me, but bear with me. This is kind of what I do as far as the wire wrapping and the whatever I'm doing here with the little beads. I'm going to add fiber to this one. I found these just fun fibers at the yarn shop. This is called brushed suri, and it does have a lot of wool in it. It's real fuzzy. And too, this is like a ball of, got it at the yarn shop, but it looks more like ribbon. Really great colors to it. So I cut it about 8 inches off of all three of those, and I'm just going to kind of combine them together and wrap them around the key itself. This is the glue that I use. It's my favorite glue for anything fabric. It's called Fabric Tack. It's made from Beacon. What I really like about this glue is it's very tacky and it dries quite quickly, so it's kind of like working with hot glue, only you don't have the hot glue mess. Well, not saying that this isn't messy though. This is kind of a messy glue too, but you don't have the heat involved. Anyway, I'm just going to put a little bit of the glue. Of course, this isn't going to come out for me here. Of the glue onto my key. There we go. Now, there are times when I just don't want to deface these keys, and I will not even do glue on them. It's kind of how you feel about it. This particular key is not a very valuable one. It is just a skeleton key. It has a lot of age to it, and I'm not saying that it's not a cool key, but I am going to glue the fiber onto it here. I'm just going to kind of keep wrapping it around. Okay, and then I'm going to cut and just leave a little bit of a tail here. And then I'm going to add a little bit more glue and kind of get that tail down. Kind of tuck it down in. And there's a little tail kind of sticking out at the beginning here. I'm gonna stick that down too with a little bit of this glue. There we go. Now the wire wrapping. Okay, bear with me on this. But this is my favorite kind of wire that I use for wire wrapping. It is a 22 gauge. This is the silver color. Let me grab the package out and you can kind of see. This is actually a beat-along. Bought it at Michael's. And it's, like I said, it comes in different colors. This is like the silver color to it. I like this gauge for wire wrapping. It's not too stiff. It's not too weak. I'm just going to cut off about, oh, I don't know, about 7 inches or so. This is how I do this. Now, like I said, I'm not really a jeweler, so those of you who are can probably know how to do this better than me. But I stick this through the little, so there's like a little tail here. Kind of hold that in place while I wrap. Just kind of wrap the wires around. I like to add some beads to this wire, and I have a few little beads laying out here on my mat that I'm going to stick on. I think these are little glass crystal looking like beads. Let's see if I can get these on here without too much of a hassle. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, there's one. I'm going to probably, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 of these. I thought these beads kind of look neat with the fibers that I've chosen. Kind of the same colors and kind of add a little bit of class to it. You can also add charms at this time too. And then I'm just going to continue to wrap this around my key. Kind of just gives it some dimension. And then when I get kind of down to the bottom, I'm going to take my, I think this is called a chain nose pliers. Just going to make a little crimp in the, or a little kind of curly Q in the very end of it. And then I'm just going to wrap and do a spiral wrap at the end here. Just by kind of wrapping it up on itself. It's not very round. It's kind of oblong, but I'm not into perfection, so. Then I'm just going to kind of push it down under so it just kind of, if you can see it or not, looks like that. And the little beads wrap around it. I still have this end up on top, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing with that. Only, well, first of all, let's see this. I kind of did a cluster of beads right here, and I'm going to finish this off into like a little head pin or a little dangle by using my chain nose. I'm just going to crimp it here into a 45-degree and then take my round nose and wrap it around. I hope you can see this. And like I said, I'm not really a jeweler, and I'm sure there's those of you out there that are probably laughing at me right now, but it works. And then I'm going to cut this off. And kind of tuck this down in here. And I'm having problems. I'll clip it a little bit more maybe. There we go. And then just tuck it in there. There we go. Now I've got this little dangle with a little end on it, little circle or whatever on the end. I'm going to stick that on my little wire here so it dangles. And then I'm going to go ahead, make my little end here and do another spiral on this end. You can also hook this with a jump ring too, and there's so many different ways you can do these, embellishing these keys. I kind of like the curly Q. It just kind of adds another little flair to it. And there we are. A little dangle on it. And two, I've got another little bulky chunky chain. This one I'm just going to run through the top of this. And you've got a really cool necklace. Very vintage, one of a kind, kind of classy. Hope you've enjoyed this video. See you again. Bye.